welcome on into another episode of Getting Well with Terry and Friends. I'm Terry, Nick beside me, Ryan bottom left, Occupancy bottom right, and we are ready to break down some MLB playoffs and the first NHL game of the year. So we will definitely start with the first NHL game of the year and then get to the playoffs second. But before that, we'll start the show as we usually do. And that is taking a look at the current show standings here. Ryan, you won your best bet again the other day, 19-6, up 11 units in best bets. Incredible. Nick, you're still smashing it in Dog of the Day in baseball. I'm currently leading in over-under occupancy. You're doing great in Dog of the Day and over-under as well. Overall, baseball is profitable. So that is awesome. NFL, me and Dave swept the board yesterday. NFL totals up almost 13 units now. Best bets up almost 2. And Dog of the Day down at 2.48. So NFL as well as profitable. College football, nothing has changed in it since the other day. And other sports still profitable all the way around. Maybe not Dog of the Day. And NHL currently empty, but this is the last day that the NHL standings will be empty. We will have NHL bets on today's slate to go over. A few people have already sent in best bets as well. Justin, what's up? You hit the like button. Much appreciated. Thanks a lot. But we'll jump right into the first NHL game of the year. We have the San Jose Sharks and the Nashville Predators in Prague playing this game today. Let me get this up here. And for me, first game of the year, obviously what I like to look at is what these teams have done against each other in the past. But we'll start here with the odds. You can get San Jose plus 150 to plus 170, Nashville minus 175 to minus 200, sixes and some 5.5s here in this one. San Jose has struggled against the Predators. The Predators are 6-0-1 in their last 7 games against Nashville. They covered the puck line in 5 of their 6 wins. This Sharks team just hasn't played the Predators well as of late. And I think, if anything, the Sharks took a slight step back last year, this offseason, losing Brent Burns. Yes, they brought in some they brought in some depth pieces for the third and fourth line, the Sharks. But the Predators, I think, are overall the better team in all aspects. So I am taking Predators minus 1.5, which you can currently get for plus 125 to plus 140. And I also have some props in this game. If you are not on Twitter or you did not see the video, when Cody Glass was told that he was making the team, he cried. And I'll be honest, I watched the video. I cried too. It was just seeing the emotion of how happy he was to make the team, everything he's gone through. He's plus 450 to score a goal tonight. Yes, I have a quarter unit on that, plus 450. I could see him coming out here and scoring in his first game of the year to kind of prove that he deserves to. He is a fourth liner, so that is why he's plus 450. But fourth liners score goals too. You'll notice that. So I'm not too worried about that. I also have Mikael Granlund to get an assist, plus 112 on the top line, and also on the power play. Granlund is an assist machine. That's what he does. Is he passes the puck to other guys and then they score. So plus 112 for Granlund to get an assist. Also Roman Josi over half an assist at plus 110 as well. If you didn't watch last year, I am a very big assist prop guy. You can just get a lot better value for assists. And obviously there's more assists than there are goals. And certain players tend to assist more than others. like Philip Forsberg, he's a goal scorer. Yes, he's going to get assists too, but you want to focus him points or goal scoring. Yossi can do both. I won't be surprised if he does both. And then, as I said, I have the Nashville puck line. And my book did make a mistake. If you do have access to sports interaction, I got Roman Yossi over half a point, plus 125. They had yes to get a point for minus 175, and yes at plus 125. So someone made an error and put yes instead of no. So I bet that, obviously, because I see him getting a point here for the Predators. Nick, first game of the year, Sharks and Predators. You're wearing your Sharks jersey. What do you think?
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I'm on the Sharks here, and my whole idea behind this global series, it's a neutral site, and I think these two teams split out. I think both teams win a game here, and they head back to America tied at 1-1. And I see value with the Sharks here. I thought they should be more around plus 150, plus 155-ish rather than plus 165. Also, this line's come down a little bit too. Some money's coming in on the Sharks, which I kind of like. And then I heard an interesting aspect to this game a little bit, that if you're looking at a total, the under may be the look, because I heard that the global, the international ices and whatever, they're bigger rinks. So the under could be an interesting look here, and it's getting bet up to the it's getting bet up. You're seeing some sixes at some points too. I just don't think Nashville should be a minus 180 on a neutral site. So I'm taking the Sharks here. Money line, I got it at 166. Last year I had a lot of gross dogs, and I ended up finishing up on all those gross dogs, and I'm going to try to do that again this year. Feels super great that I'm starting off the year with the Sharks.
All right. Yeah, I want to talk to anybody off the under either.
Tomorrow maybe the over spot with backup goalies.
Yeah, and the Sharks last 4 games against Nashville, they've got shut out twice and scored 1 goal twice. They haven't scored more than 2 goals in their last 7 games against Nashville, so definitely under might be a play as well. Ryan, Sharks and Preds, what do you think here?
Yeah, I don't have a play on this. I don't. I'm going to take a look and see at the action and potentially make a play on tomorrow's game. My question for Nick is: isn't bigger ice mean more opportunities to score? Wouldn't it be the other way around?
I honestly don't know, to be completely honest. I think that the bigger ice would mean they would have to skate more, which would mean there's more ground for you to cover, which means you can go up and down the ice not as fast. That would be my guess, but I don't know how it plays out. I know when it comes to, because I remember the only other ones that that I've capped that the size of the playing area has really impacted it was, I noticed with the smaller cages in the UFC, there was more finishes. So, I mean, the size of the things, I don't know how it actually impacts. I think it leans more towards overs, actually, looking at it more, but I don't know, honestly. That's why I'm not touching the total.
All right, before we get to occupancy, yes, Dave, I did put in the group chat yesterday and let everybody know, and I tagged everybody as well, that the show is changing because what would be the point in starting at 4 today? We would miss like all the hockey and all the baseball except for the Mets. So that is the reason for that.
You're saying that's a problem.
And then IceX, last season doesn't count, new season. I guess you could look at it that way. But that's not just last season's stats. That's like over the last 3 years. The Sharks just don't play well against the Predators. So, and that's a stat that I like to use a lot in hockey. Occupancy, Sharks and Preds. What do you think here?
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate everyone in the chat. Really excited to cap this card. The big game overseas, Sharks, Preds. What do we got here? One angle that I continually look at is making the same bet over time and looking at the odds and seeing if it's a profitable wager. You can do that with money lines, like covers.com does that, and other resources as well. I'm looking at that with player props for today. With regards to the game on the outcome, I lean towards the Preds. But like Nick said, I could see a 1-1 split. As we know, it's hard to sweep anything. But the props I'm looking at are Mikael Granlund and Ryan Johansson. Both of them landed at 63 and 64 points last year. So if you think about that over an 82-game season, if they get it in and you bet that point prop, you're going to lose 20, maybe 25, but you're going to, maybe hit 60 or 55 of them. So the odds today for Granlund and Johansson are minus 126 and plus 100 for them to just record a point. So those are two bets that I'm making. With goal props, I would be leaning towards Forsberg and Duchesne. They both hit career highs last year, actually. Duchesne had 43 and Forsberg had 42. So when you look at that, these guys are firing, and you can maybe expect them to score tonight. Those are something I'd look at. Not sure I'm going to take them. And then my best bet is also in this game. I took Yusei Saros over 25.5 saves at minus 102. If you look at his game logs, when he plays the full game, which he does, he's a starter, he consistently hits over 27. Every now and then, you have to take a look at other factors, not just his stats. And I checked out the Preds and how many shots they let up last year. I know the new season is on its way, but they were still in the top half of shots allowed. So like right around the middle of, their defensive strategy and the way they play. I don't think it's changing too much. The roster remained the same. Definitely check out Terry's NHL preview shows. You still have time to get ahead of the NHL cards coming up. This is just the beginning. So go and check out his channel and, see how the rosters move, the prospects, all the really good stats and stuff are over there. So that's what I like for this game.
All right, perfect. Yeah, we did all 32 teams. There is a playlist in the YouTube channel. So if you want to see, if you're new to hockey, maybe you're not sure on all these teams or what to expect, check out the previous shows, different people on different shows, and we go in depth on the different teams. So yes, make sure to tune into those. For baseball, we will start with the Phillies game. We do have a game that has already started. So that is currently 0-0, I think, going into the top of the fifth now. So anyone that thought that's an under for the first five, it's looking real good so far. For me, I'm on Cleveland, a money line in this game and to win the series. So I'm on Cleveland. Nick, anything you want to say about that game before we get to Phillies Cardinals?
Did not bet it. I lean Rays to win the series.
All right. Ryan, anything about Cleveland and
I'm also on Cleveland on this one, but I think it's interesting that McClanahan is pitching really well, and this bodes well for Tampa Bay. And if they're they've got some really good starting pitching, and McClanahan's health was a little bit of a question mark. So if he's good, Springs is good. There's just got a lot of options. So this bodes well for Tampa Bay in this series, and this bodes well for Tampa Bay potentially challenging the Yankees in the next round as well.
All right. Occupancy, anything about Tampa, Cleveland before we get to Phillies?
Yeah, real briefly. I went with the Rays today. I think Cleveland futures are still on the table, absolutely, and I think they could absolutely win this series. But I think if Tampa was going to steal one, it could be this game one. The McClanahan injuries I know were being talked about, and I took a chance with him. I was looking at just Cleveland's last form. They were totaling collectively around 6 or 7 strikeouts a game towards the end of the season. So I was laddering in small units, McClanahan, strikeout props, and Tampa to win for some really good plus prices. But again, small units. And then I'm on the Tampa team total over 2 and over 3, Tampa first 5. But really, I looked at the World Series odds, and Tampa was a little bit higher, or they were a little more favored to win the World Series than Cleveland. So I don't know if the books know something we don't. I think it was plus 3,000 for Tampa and plus 3,500 for Cleveland. I could be wrong. I thought that's what I saw on one of some social media posts. I could be wrong about that. We got to check sources, but
yeah, Guardians were the biggest underdog to win the World Series. That's why I jumped on them, because I think that's ridiculous. But
yeah, and they're a fine team. Like I have nothing like personally against them. I think I still like them, and maybe I'll bet them next game. But I like backing McClanahan when I can.
Hey, he's shoving right now. But we'll go to this game, which starts a little bit later. Actually, the Blue Jays game. Oh no, this starts at 2.
So it starts at 2. Blue Jays at 4. Mets at 8.
There we go. So Phillies, you can currently find them minus 104 to minus 110. You can get St. Louis minus 106 to minus 118 or minus 120. 6.5s and some 7s available in this game. I do have the Cardinals to win the World Series. They're one of my 4 teams that I bet on, but I have absolutely nothing in the side department in this game. When I was looking at the starting pitchers to see if I could find an edge, all I noticed is that neither one really allows anything. So I know it's a first 5 under 3.5, and I don't really like the 3.5 number, but between these two pitchers, it's an under 3.5 in the first 5 for me. I kind of see maybe a repeat of this Tampa Bay Cleveland game, or something similar. I don't think we get a lot of action at the beginning of this one. So I'm taking first 5 under 3.5, which I got for minus 118. In the regular season, I wanted to took an under 3.5 at minus money, but in the postseason, as people said, pitching really does matter in the postseason. So I like both pitchers here. Nick, Phillies, Cardinals. What do you think in this one?
I can see that first 5 under. Looking at what one thing that I noticed is because Zach Wheeler is pitching this game for the Phillies. He faced the Cardinals twice this year, and they were back-to-back starts, which usually doesn't end well for pitchers. He pitched against them July 3rd and then July 8th. On the 3rd, he went 7 innings, gave up no earned runs on 4 hits, and struck out 5. On the 8th, he gave up no earned runs, 5 hits, 7 innings pitched, 5 strikeouts. He dominated the Cardinals twice. And he dominated the Cardinals for 7 innings on the second time after they already saw him for 7 innings just 5 days earlier. I think Zach Wheeler absolutely goes out and shoves here. I'm a little worrisome on Quintana. He hasn't had the greatest of postseason success in the very limited sample size he has had. This is Zach Wheeler's first postseason start, actually, as well, because Tim and I were looking at that this morning. We thought he made a postseason start, but he actually, in 2015-16, when he was with the Mets, he was injured during those years when they made the World Series and then the wild card game the next year. So I like Zach Wheeler an awful lot, and usually it's worrisome when a pitcher goes on the IL and then comes back, and he's only had 15 innings pitched since coming back from the IL. But his fastball I heard his fastball was a mile an hour faster than before he went on the IL. So he's actually used that as kind of like a rejuvenation to his season here. I think he goes out and shoves here. That being said, I don't want to trust the Phillies' first full game because I still see question marks in that bullpen. I do think the Phillies are very, very live to win this division, go to the division series and win this series. I picked the Phillies to beat the Cardinals in this series, to be completely honest. I had the Phillies in the first 5 innings, though, in this game. I'm going to isolate it only to the first 5. Ask Zach Wheeler, go out here, shove for me 5 innings, give up no earned runs. He's probably going to go 6-7 innings, give up 0 or 1 runs like he has against the Cardinals both times. And I think that the Phillies are able to scratch out a run or 2 against Quintana and lead 1-0 heading into the 5th or heading into the 6th. So Phillies, first 5 money line for me. I got it at minus 115. I also like the Phillies to win this series.
All right. Yeah, I think it's a good thing you took the money line and not the run line in that one, because I think it's going to be low scoring. Quintana, the only reason I didn't pull the trigger, he actually hasn't allowed more than 2 earned runs in any start with the Cardinals, and he did shut out the Phillies as well in his one start against them this year. Only went, I think, 4 or 5 innings though. He doesn't go as long as Wheeler, but yeah, this was a tough one sidewise, but hoping for not a lot of runs. Fingers crossed. Ryan, Phillies, Cardinals. What do you think here?
Well, I looked at the pitchers and I saw a lot of really good performances over the last month. Quintana has only had 3 total earned runs since September 1st. Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about the Wheeler injury situation, but I'm seeing good progress. I'm seeing, he's, in his 2 starts since coming back from the IL, he's pitching more and more innings, and they're reasonably good performances. He's only had 1 total earned run in those 2 starts as well. So I see this as, runs are going to be really at a premium. So St. Louis and Philadelphia both hit the ball well, but they're not really hot right now. St. Louis is number 14th in batting average over the last 2 weeks of the regular season, and Philadelphia is number 21. So my play is on the under 7, which you can still find a number of places, and that's going to be my best bet. I still think under 6.5 is a good play here. And one thing I will say about these really low totals in the postseason, one, you've got good pitchers, you've got colder weather, so the ball isn't carrying, but also the pitching is handled differently in the postseason, and you're more likely to see these teams go to the bullpen at any sign of trouble. They don't want to have an ugly inning at any stage. So I don't think these totals are too low. I know there's some 6s and 5.5s out there on some of these games, but I don't think anyone needs to shy away from an under in these games. And I like the under 7 here.
All right. We have the first home run of the preseason for the Tampa Bay Rays.
Jose Siri, home run, 1-0 Rays.
Yes. But occupancy, Phillies, Cardinals. What do you think here?
Yeah, I want to echo what was said before me. Really, really good view at this game, I believe, with this pitching matchup being very even. The runs are going to be at a premium. There's really nothing else I can contribute with regards to what was already said. I was looking to get in the game. The books are setting it at a pick 'em. Maybe they're not sure either. I couldn't pull a trigger on a side here. I've tried to back the Phillies before and been let down. I backed the Cardinals at the wrong time of the year, like early summer. I think the weather's playing a big factor in that early game, and potentially this one. I didn't check RotoWire, whatever, for the weather here over in St. Louis. But
wind's blowing, I think, from the side at like 15 miles. All games I noticed are terrible hitting conditions today. So these totals are low for a reason.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Always can count on you for that, Nick. So with this game, I was trying to get in somehow. I think the strikeout props are a decent way. Quintana's was set at 3.5. And I actually made a play on this already, but really only because of a pricing shopping situation. My one book was offering at -145, and then this other book was -116 for over 3.5. So I just jumped in on a unit with that. Quintana, he's okay. 4, 6, 6, 7. In his last 5 starts, he had 0 in a probably a management game at Pittsburgh. The one before that, he only threw 38 pitches, but his regular starts, I think he can get there. I also was looking at Wheeler's props to get in, but they set it at 4.5. And then how I just process of elimination it, the Phillies struck out over the course of the season around 100 more times than the Cardinals did. So whether that's in preparation or whatnot, I just was using that to kind of pick one of the sides because I want to have some action in this game. I'm really excited to maybe catch it on the radio or MLB Game Day app and just kind of keep track of the game this way. Really exciting series.
ESPN, by the way.
Yeah. I got to figure out how to link that account up. But really great day of baseball ahead of us. I could see a lot of low scoring games. I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of the night we see this slate and every game's like 2-1 or something. So we'll see how it goes. But definitely cheers to everyone watching the baseball out there.
All right, we'll move on along to the Seattle Mariners and the Toronto Blue Jays. If you watched yesterday's preview show last night, I did go over stats in this game, but I will kind of just give the gist of them again. Seattle coming into the postseason 10-10 against the poverty baseball teams of the MLB. Angels, Oakland twice, Kansas City, Texas, and Detroit. They went 10-10 against those teams. Toronto 13-8, facing Tampa Bay twice, the Yankees, Boston, Philly, and Baltimore twice. Castillo has got smashed his last 2 games on the road against Oakland and Kansas City. Meanwhile, Manoah has not allowed more than 2 earned runs in 8 starts in a row. Toronto's bats are better than Mariners. Yes, I'm a Blue Jays fan, so that is a fact. But this team is overall better than Seattle. The pitching matchup we have today, Manoah is better than Castillo. The Blue Jays bats are better. And the fact that something not being really taken into account too much, Rogers Center, one of the loudest ballparks in the postseason. This place is going to be going insane. Manoah's going to feed off that. I have a 5-star play on picks and parlays on the Jays in this game. I will be having the Jays run line as well. I think they take care of business here against the Mariners. Nick, Mariners, Blue Jays, what do you think here?
Yeah, I think a lot of Canadian bookies are going to be laughing all the way to the bank today. When all this money is coming in on Toronto, all these tickets are coming in on Toronto, and the bookies are looking at all of us and be like, you know what? Let's make it more appealing to bet Toronto. Yeah, come on. Keep giving us your Blue Jays money. Mariners win this game, and I think the Mariners win this series. I think that this is a closer matchup than people think it is, and I think this should have been a pick 'em, honestly. I think there's a massive bullpen advantage towards the Mariners. And when you look at it, yeah, the Mariners are a team where at the end of the season they didn't finish well. But one thing I did notice is they like to play down to their competitions, because one thing that the Mariners have proved to me this year that the Blue Jays, looking at records, have not, are the Mariners beat teams with above 500 records, which I like looking at those stats to show me who can actually beat winning teams. And the Mariners finished 5 games over 500 on that stat, and the Blue Jays finished 4 games under 500 on that stat. So there's a 9-game difference there for their ability to beat winning baseball teams. And I think the Mariners are better than people think they are. And I can definitely see them winning this series. I like them to win this series, especially at the price that you're going to get them at. And I'm on their money line today at plus 116. I think that this is a bookie's trap a little bit, where they're inviting money on the Blue Jays, and I like siding with the books when it comes to that. So I'll take the Mariners here, full game at plus 116.
All right, I didn't know that the books control who wins games, but best of luck to you.
No, but they have nice, big, expensive casinos for a reason. And generally speaking, if you're on the book side, I think you win more often than if you're not. Bookies don't give away free money.
Yes, but bookies aren't always right either. Ryan, Mariners, Blue Jays, what do you think here?
I think the Blue Jays win this series. I think they win today as well. The best play, though, on the board for me is on the over on this game. After I talked about the under in the last game, I'm going to the over on this one. I like advanced stats for pitchers. However, you kind of throw that out the door when you get the playoffs, because they're all really good pitchers, and there's really nothing to glean from the advanced stats except for they throw a lot of pitchers throw a lot of strikeouts, and there's not a lot of hard contact. But I will say that Manoah has higher fielding independent ERA. He's got a little bit of a red flag there in his advanced numbers. So I think that the Mariners will score a few runs today. But the thing is that Toronto is number one in the league against right-handed pitching. The Mets were first, but Toronto just went up at the end of the season. And Seattle is number 27 in the league against right-handed pitching, and that's the big difference here. But in the end, I think there's going to be runs in this game, and I think the over 7 here is a good look.
All right, occupancy, Mariners Blue Jays. What do you think here?
I think this could be the matchup of the day, just with those type of markets. Baseball fans on the fence, like people who kind of like the sport, but like see the headlines. Like I think this is going to be a fun one for them and everyone. With regards to the side, the way I'm trying to look at it is the first 5, and I'm trying to look at the pitchers' historical performances. Manoah's pitched only 2 years. He's still really new to this sport at the professional level. And he's got no playoff experience. Luis Castillo has a lot more years of experience here. He's pitched in 1 postseason game. I think it was a play-in NL Wild Card Series, October 1st, 2020. Atlanta. And he threw 103 pitches, 5 innings, 7 strikeouts, 1 earned. I'm not saying he's the better pitcher because Manoah has proven this season that he's excellent. At 2.24 ERA this year, 16-7. He's really talented, and I'm not really looking super fast to jump and bet against him. But however, I do think that this series goes 3. I don't think either team is going to win both. And I was just looking at the team stats. I won't go on too long about this. But Toronto, top 4 offense in the whole majors, 4.78 runs a game. Seattle, just under the league average, about half a run less. So I think the Blue Jays have a little bit more of a high-powered offense. I mean, I know when the Mariners can get hot, they can get hot. But looking at the runs allowed a game as well, Toronto around 4.19 runs allowed this season, and Seattle, pretty close, 3.85. So a little better of a defense overall collectively. I can't even I don't really want to bet the strikeout props too, because if things go wrong and management issues in this type of game, I think it was actually said on the preview show you guys were talking about last night about like the Mariners rotation and having, Kirby and Ray and, Gilbert kind of like as, because if this is going to be the only, season or series that they get in, like they're going to use everyone they have. So I don't even know how long we're going to see Castillo. I mean, so I'm not going for a props in this type of game. I do think I kind of like the Mariners bullpen. I think it was said on the show last night. I mean, how many guys? I mean, Flexen now is even there. The other Castillo. I mean, they have some pretty good people back there to have the Mariners maybe squeeze out a game late. So I am leaning with the Mariners today. Haven't bet it yet, but that's definitely the way I'm going to look at this one.
All right. Tampa Bay is challenging something. Not exactly sure, but we do have the second home run, or for now, the second home run of the baseball playoffs. Jose Ramirez has made it 2-1 Cleveland, but Tampa Bay, I think, is challenging if it went out or not, or if the player came off the bag early. I'm not sure exactly, but something is being challenged right now, but we'll keep you updated. And we'll move on.
It looks like they're challenging whether or not he touched the base.
Okay.
I'm trying to listen to it, though.
BetStamp, use code WILD, the referral code, code WILD in the referral code section. Do your line shopping. Find the best odds for whatever you're betting. And you can follow me there at Let's Go Wild Picks. But looking at the final game of the baseball playoffs tonight, we do have the San Diego Padres and the New York Mets here in this one. I'll bring up the odds. You can currently find San Diego plus 125 to plus 130. The Mets minus 149 and minus 155. Sixes and 6.5 available in this one here. Yes, I said I wasn't going to bet the Mets the rest of the regular season, so that is over now. But I have not gotten involved in this game here. I will be looking much more at tomorrow's matchup. Looking at that one, but today's matchup, I don't really want to get involved in this. This game is just a complete pass for me here. Nick, Padres, Mets, what do you think here?
Yeah, I end up taking the Mets straight up money line. It's a little juicy, but I'm willing to lay a little bit more juice here in the playoffs because I expect these to be closer one-run games, and I don't want to lay a run line with this game with these low-scoring potential games. But one thing I did notice that I actually saw on interesting was Max Scherzer generally pitched better. Number one, at home. Number two, not coming after Jacob deGrom. One thing we've noticed was in the beginning of the season when both deGrom and Scherzer were dealing, it was when Scherzer was the number one and deGrom was the number two. When deGrom came back from his injury, deGrom became the number one, Scherzer became the number two. And then that's when they started struggling a little bit because I wonder if it's just the position of the pitchers. Because, I mean, you're seeing these pitchers 2 times in a row. And for whatever reason, they were more successful when Scherzer pitched first. So I think that's a little interesting tidbit here. I'm not high on the Padres. And if you've seen me for a while, I think I woke up and faded the Padres for like 3 weeks straight because they were, I think, an overrated team. And they were always overpriced. And I'm going to continue with that. I backed them a little bit towards the end of the season. They started playing a little bit better. But this is not a Padres team I'm looking to back here come postseason time at all. I like the Mets. I think the pitching advantage is towards the Mets here in this game. Darvish hasn't fared well in the postseason before. He's gotten lit up plenty of times in the postseason, and he's a little bit worse on the road as well. I noticed that he has an ERA almost one run higher on the road than at home. So, and Scherzer is much better at home than he is on the road. So, I sided with the Mets here in this game at minus 148.
All right. Yeah, it was interesting because you were fading the Padres all the time. And then one day I was backing them, and then that's when you went again. It's like, really, Nick? We can never agree, but I guess that's just how things work sometimes. But Ryan,
I think the Padres cashed that game too. It was against the Cardinals, I believe, and Snell threw no-hitter through 5.
Yeah. Ryan, Padres, Mets, what do you think on this one?
I have not gotten to a play on this one yet. I like the looks of the Mets team total, which is at 3.5 at plus money. I think they win this series. I'm considering investing in a futures bet on the Mets, which is plus 1,000 to win the World Series. Yes. And if they, the way I think the Mets, I think they're going to push the Dodgers in the next round. I think we get a long series, and I would be happy with a futures bet on the Mets just by getting to that long series and a 50-50 game at the end. So what I'm trying to decide is, does it make sense for me to invest in a futures bet or just go ahead and start betting on the Mets right now? Because I do think they're going to advance in the series. One thing is, I think the Mets are going to be big favorites tomorrow because Musgrove is probably going to be pitching. And regardless if they put out DeGrom or who they put out there, I think the Mets are going to be a big favorite. So it may make sense to look at a series bet on the Mets just because there's not going to be much value on the Mets tomorrow, in my opinion. But I haven't gotten to a play yet.
The way they're approaching this series is if the Mets win game 1, we will see Bassett game 2. If the Mets lose game 1, we will see DeGrom game 2.
And Snell is supposed to be pitching tomorrow for I've never had to block someone before, but I just did that in the chat for some adult dating site thing.
Oh,
That's the first time that's ever came here. So that's
that
interesting.
happens all the time in my other shows.
I know, but it's the first time it's happened to you, but that was interesting. But
You're in the big time, Terry.
there we go.
Your biggest fan showed up.
I guess so. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Snell tomorrow. Obviously, things can change. But it does, at this moment, look like it's going to be Snell pitching tomorrow. So I'll be looking towards backing him in the first 5 tomorrow. But occupancy, Padres, Mets. What do you think here?
Yeah, it is a difficult series to really make a case for the underdog. In my narrative, I thought Darvish was maybe going to be in game 2 or game 3, and then I could come in and maybe grab a San Diego money line once. I think the Mets are going to win the series, but that didn't happen. They're throwing Darvish early. Not going to back him game 1 in Queens. I'm not doing it. No angle. I'm not even going to bet the strikeout prop. So it's a look to the Mets. I think if you want to get in there, a little juice on the money line is not bad. I like the team total over as well, 3, 3.5, 4 even. I was just looking at the offenses and defenses. San Diego still respectable for overall. They only let about 4 runs a game this year over the course of the season, and the Mets top 4 defense 3.75. Mets also a top 6 offense, 4.77 runs a game, and the Padres still respectable, but a little, half a run, 4.35 runs a game this year. So I think the Mets take game 1. What's the -0.5 in the first 5? That's almost at a +100 probably at some books. That's one way I'd be looking at this.
Yeah, it's -110 to +110, different prices.
Yeah, so shopping is always important. That's the way I would lean here. I don't think San Diego's as bad necessarily as they're said to be, and I think some crazy angels in the outfield stuff happens, but I don't know if I can see it tonight. So I'd say Mets going to win this game tonight.
All right. Next up, other picks. I don't have anything else. Nick, I know you like something in college football tonight, correct?
Yes, I have 2 plays in college football tonight. The first one was Houston and Memphis. I like the over 57.5. Let me get my number up for that one there. Both these teams been trending towards the over this year. So it's not just the top 25 here on the stats. There we go. I had this game more at it should be around a 59 rather than a 57.5. So I do see a little bit of value there, and the market's moving towards the over. So I like over 57.5, Memphis and Houston, and I like the Wolfpack of Nevada -3.5 tonight against Colorado State. Colorado State, arguably one of the worst, if not the worst team in the FCS, or the FCS. They're 0-4 this year, 0-4 ATS. They've been getting blown out every game, and I think this is a get right spot for Nevada after getting blown out a couple of games in a row. So I'm on Houston, Memphis over 57.5, and Nevada -3.5. And I also lean towards the Ticats in the CFL tonight, first half -1, but they're probably not going to bet it.
Yeah, I looked at that game and just decided I don't want to back them as a favorite right now. But I do think they're going to be fighting for that playoff spot. Cubano just sent me a message. He got busy with work and didn't send it, but Cubano has given home run props a lot on the show. And he actually has, and he sent me the bet slip, Jose Ramirez did home run at +450. Too bad he couldn't have put it in the chat a little bit earlier, but congrats to him on cashing that. Ryan, any other picks, NHL preseason, college football, anything like that for anything else?
Nothing else for me.
All right. Occupancy, any other picks for any other sports?
Yeah, I just have one play. It's a 2-leg parlay, +200. I bought 4.5 points with Rutgers tonight. And then I have an over 0.5 points for the Cowboys in the first quarter at the Rams. So get me a safety.
On Sunday?
on Sunday.
It's just a 2-leg parlay.
Oh, okay. Okay. I see.
So Rutgers plus 4.5, Dallas team total over half in the first quarter.
All right. And we will move to the best bet segment and start with over under, as we usually do here. For me, Philadelphia, St. Louis, first 5 under 3.5. Nick, you're going with Memphis, Houston over 57. You sent in 57.5, but it's 57 now, so a better number for you. Tim and Dave both taking Seattle and Toronto over 7. Ryan, any total for you today?
I'm going to take the full game of the Phillies Cardinals under 7, and it's juiced to like a minus 120, but they're still available.
All right. Occupancy, is there a total that you like in baseball today?
Yeah, let's go with the Seattle Toronto over 7.
All right. Bryant also sent his in. I just totally forgot to put it in here. He is taking the Phillies team total over 3.
I like it.
And I will get the odds, obviously, for that after the show is done. Moving on to dog of the day. No dog for me today. Nick, Seattle Mariners, plus 120. Tim, Philadelphia Phillies, plus 100. Ryan, any dog today?
No dog for me.
All right. Occupancy, any dog today?
Not today.
All right. Moving on to best bets. Yes, we got quite a few of them here. I'll have to make the page bigger. But for me, Blue Jays money line. I have 2 units on it. Best odds you can find is minus 120. Nick, you're going with Mets money line. Best odds you can find is minus 140. Tim is going with Nebraska minus 3. Dave is going with Nevada minus 3.5, both in college football. DJ is taking Eric Carlson over half a point at plus 110. Melissa is taking Nashville in regulation minus 115. Occupancy, you're taking UC Soros over 25.5 saves. And Brian is taking Philadelphia Phillies money line. Ryan, what do you think here for best bet?
Yeah, Terry, I'm sorry, I screwed up. I got my best bet and my total mixed up. So I want for my best bet. Yeah, so that's my best bet right there.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's okay.
And then the total is the over on Seattle, which 2 other people have as well.
All right, there'll be 4 of you on this now. All right, I hope Toronto scores lots of runs for you guys. Fingers crossed.
Or the Mariners.
Yeah, or whatever. But that is today's show. We will be back on tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. If anybody here has anything they want to say about the Cleveland game, which will be starting an hour before the show tomorrow, the floor is yours.
Do we even have a line for it? Oh, we do have a line for it. It's Glass now, and it's McKenzie. We're seeing the Guardians as minus 115. Total is 6.
Yeah, so I obviously haven't looked at it yet. I have to see, obviously, how this game ends. Things could change, so I have no opinion really on it. But Nick, any opinions on it tomorrow?
I would lean Rays first 5 because I know Glass now is not going to go super deep. The Rays do have a really good bullpen, but I would probably try to isolate it to just 5 innings. So I'd lean Rays first 5, first glance. Have to still cap it, though.
All right. Cubano also likes Ty France to get a home run. Richie says, Nick, you didn't take the Sharks as your dog of the day? No, he likes to fade my team when he takes the dog of the day. But no, I guess he likes Seattle more than San Jose. And then Cubano says something that is extremely accurate. Sharks are dog shit, Richie.
Cool.
But we'll see what happens. Ryan, any thoughts in the Cleveland game tomorrow afternoon yet?
I'm just surprised that Tampa Bay's throwing Glasnow out there. I don't like it. They know what they're doing. I'm sure they've got a good reason behind it, but I can't back Tampa Bay in that.
I wonder if they'll piggyback him with like Jeffrey Springs or something.
Yeah, probably, but I don't want.
Yeah, and you know what? It's possible that he ends up playing. Like there might be an opener, like Nick said. Like things could really change depending on what happens.
The Rays are an interesting team with that. they're the ones that started this opener stuff. So
Yeah. Occupancy, any thoughts in the early game tomorrow before we finish off the show?
Yeah, we still need to cap it and see what happens today. Just for narrative I got going, I still hope the Rays win today and then back McKenzie tomorrow. I haven't bet against him all year. I'm not going to. So we'll see. I have to see what happens here. But should be still a great game of baseball.
All right. That is today's show. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the content, smash the like button. We appreciate all the support. We'll be back tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, to go over tomorrow's games. And then tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern to go over Sunday's games. No show on Sundays now. So make sure to tune into those shows tomorrow. And we will be back again for other episodes, Getting Wild with Terry and Friends. Best of luck, everybody. Enjoy the opening NHL game and obviously baseball playoffs. Fun day of sports still ahead. Best of luck to everybody, and we'll see you again. Have a good one, guys.